Hello, Ellis County and all South Metro area. I can tell you Ellis County is getting the loudest stuff right now. Kevin Crouch here with South Metro Weather, and I can tell you this is not exactly how I expected this evening to go. I know several of you are watching the radar only stream. That's of course a unique opportunity to track the storms as they're moving through with just a look at radar. I know some like to have that view going on while you're watching me. This is the picture, this is what's going on right now, and we've had these storms develop over the last several minutes. None of these storms are severe at this time, and the National Weather Service has just kind of filled me in on the fact that they're not expecting severe weather so much tonight, but we could very well see some pocket change hail out of these storms. I haven't seen any hail quite yet for our area, but I do want to zoom in on Ellis County. Like I said, this is kind of the area that's getting the hardest hit right now. One of those cells, excuse me, just north of me in the Pecan Hill area. Another one of those down in the Italy area, stretching over to Maypearl. And if we do take a quick look at the parameters here for hail, I do think that we're seeing some small hail just south of Pecan Hill here. That's going to be heading in between Palmer and Ferris there, possibly up towards the Ferris area. We've seen some of this more of a kind of south to north orientation there. And then again in the Italy area, and we could see that increasing somewhat in the 5 Points Boz area there as well. So these storms have developed just in the past several minutes and have quickly intensified. I was looking to see what was going on further to the northwest, and we'll take a trek there in just a moment. But these storms have continued to blow up and intensify greatly. Okay, so hearing hail reported in Maypearl and Milford. Again, that would be this cell here. So pretty confident we're seeing some hail there. There's plenty of lift. We are in the warm sector of, south of this warm front, and so there's plenty of lift from that heat, plenty of moisture in the air. So it's not too big a surprise that we've had this blow up of storms. I just wasn't expecting quite this much at this point. We've been talking a lot about the severe weather risk for tomorrow, and we'll get into that. I don't know if I'm going to have any graphics for you on that, but I'm going to do my best. The other thing I want to show you, and we'll actually have to switch radar images or switch radar towers for this, but out in our western zones, western portions of North Texas, there are these two cells, these two clusters, if you will, these complexes of cells that could move into our area. You notice they're moving a little bit more kind of west to east at this point. We're moving more southeasterly earlier tonight, moving more easterly now. So whether it's this system moving towards the Wichita Falls, between Wichita Falls and Graham, or this complex down in the Abilene area, and in fact, you have to kind of go by multiple radar sites to get a clear picture of this. So pretty good picture from the Dyess Air Force Base, the KDYX radar there, but in the Abilene area, that continues to move off to the east. We'll put this back into motion. And then this complex continuing to move, well, it's kind of messy there too, moving east as well. And so we have an opportunity to see some of these possibly move into our area, although it looks more and more likely that those storms will move to our north and stay mostly north of us. It looks like this section, if any of that is going to move our area, it's probably, honestly, going to stay to our north and not really affect our area too much. But again, this northern section might be worth watching later tonight. It has weakened significantly, but there could be something to that as we go through the later parts of the night. But let's get right back home and talk a little bit more again about what is happening across our area as we continue to see these storms. Just look at how they've blossomed and quickly blown up and developed. We had this one storm near Kaufman that was intensifying by itself, and then we've just seen it open up from northwest or northeast to southwest here. Hill County getting a fair amount of rain at this point. A lot of heavy rain there. The strongest storms, though, again, are in Ellis County, now seeing more increasing activity across Navarro County here. So let's go county by county here and just talk about what is happening in each area. We have Navarro County here, one heavy storm in the Corsicana area, one near Blooming Grove, one moving towards the Dawson area, towards Mertens and Hubbard there as well. So as all of this continues to move off to the northeast, it doesn't look like any of the really intense activity is in Navarro County at this time. We'll go up to Ellis County here. These two cells are predominantly what is impacting those areas right now. This storm moving north of Italy now. We did get reports of hail from this cell earlier, and again, if we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid, a couple of hot spots, possibly of some hail there. Looks like the storm heading towards the Ferris area has calmed down a little bit. That it's not too terribly intense right now. But as we continue to watch these, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Johnson County is largely empty. The Rio Vista area looks to be getting some activity now, moving towards Grandview there. But most of Johnson County is quiet for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts. And then widespread heavy rain across Hill County. We'll take another look at the integrated liquid here to see. I don't really see any possibilities of hail here. Possibly some here headed towards Itasca. That could intensify, bring some small hail to that area, but not seeing anything too concerning there. Again, hot spots are in Italy and near, really moving towards the 5 Points Boz area there, southwest of Waxahachie. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of hail right now. Again, no severe warnings here. Nothing is considered severe at this time. The National Weather Service really doesn't expect this to be severe, but as we continue to monitor this, that could come into play. We're still talking about the severe weather potential for tomorrow, and okay, I'm being told that the storm in Kaufman County, the storm right up here, will be prompting a severe thunderstorm warning. So we are seeing the possibility of severe weather out of these storms, just not seeing that in our county, in our 4 counties quite yet. So time will tell if we actually see that here. But we've been talking about the potential for severe weather tomorrow, and I'm going to see if we can pull that up here possibly. Because I would love to be able to talk to a little bit of a captive audience about that just for a moment here. Let me just see. Let's see here. Yeah, I want to just briefly talk about this because. Okay, here's that graphic here. I didn't do very clean transition there, but and let me see if I can get. I'll have cleaner transitions here in a moment. But this is what we're looking at for tomorrow. And when it comes to the storms tomorrow, we are looking at a couple of opportunities for potential severe weather. We're less certain about the possibility that we could see some afternoon storms tomorrow, 3, 4 o'clock possibly developing. That's daytime heating. Very common to see development during that time. If the daytime heating, that heat provides lift, plenty of moisture in the air, could see some storms, but we're not certain that's going to happen. We have a lot more confidence in a squall line, that straight line, that solid line of storms moving in late tomorrow night. Really, it looks like closer possibly to midnight. We'll get more information on that timing as we go. There are models that have great disagreement on that, so we'll have a better idea of timing probably in the morning and going through the day tomorrow. But what we're looking at threat-wise, damaging hail, it looks to be a pretty big bet tomorrow for our area. Damaging wind following right behind that. A decent, not big, but not nothing, tornado risk tomorrow as well. That will be intensified if we see any afternoon storms tomorrow. Those would be those individual supercell thunderstorms that could pose that kind of risk. And I do have the flood risk here. Obviously, that's intensified by tonight because we're adding moisture to the ground, and if we continue that and we continue to add to any kind of rainfall amounts across the area, you can bet that we may see a flood risk if we can increase some of those rainfall amounts and rainfall rates through the day tomorrow. But I want to get back to the radar here, so let's get back to our bearings. And, you know, it's one of these things where, you know, we could very easily see a number of scenarios possibly play out. Let's see if I can get the radar back here. See beautiful Fifi, the B-29 there. here we go. Okay. All right, I'm kind of doing things on the fly. There wasn't a whole lot of time to prepare for this, so I wasn't sure if I was going to go live or not. There's no severe weather, but it turned out to be worth it because, you know, we're looking at storms that I know were waking people up, getting your attention. And I know you were probably going, what in the world is going on out there right now? In fact, I sent over to the National Weather Service in the chat session, hey, Ellis County is waking up because there was lots of very loud thunder across this area. Of course, we're getting some of that thunder across Hill County now as well. So it looks like we're getting not only some of that much needed rain across our area, but we're getting some noise out there. And I think the dog was freaking out. I'm not sure either of our kids even woke up, but there was one lightning strike. Looked to be a little bit too close for comfort here, but obviously I didn't lose power, so we're in a good position there. But it got your attention. I wanted to at least make sure to bring an update on all of that. And like I said, had a captive audience, gave me a chance to talk about tomorrow a little bit as well. So what we have going on across the area, let me just do one more look at the vertically integrated liquid here. Of course, here's that severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern, Kaufman County, southwestern Van Zandt County. And here's those two hot spots. So again, the Boz Great House 5 Points area southwest of Waxahachie, and looking like getting close to the Foreston area, possibly moving up towards Lake Waxahachie in Ellis County. That's kind of where we see really the majority of the hail risk right now. A few of these little spots in Hill County, we could see this one south of Milford intensify, and some of those could intensify into small hail producers. Pocket change, dime, nickel, penny size hail really, I think, is the most of what we're going to see tonight. That's what the National Weather Service is saying, at least. But we will continue to keep an eye on all of this. And of course, you can watch with the radar-only stream that is on the same YouTube channel. That is exclusive to YouTube, though. If you'll go over to the YouTube channel, South Metro Weather, and subscribe there, watch that radar stream. That way you can continue to track these storms across our area. Really, right now, it looks like we've kind of gotten rid of the big initial flare-up that we had. I'll put this back into motion for you one more time. The more of these we have, the more storms you have in a small area, the more they start to compete with each other. So it's going to get harder for any one of these updrafts, any one of these storms to really excel. You have the storm over in Kaufman County that's still kind of by itself out there. It's having to compete a little bit more, but obviously in Hill and Ellis counties right now, increasing in Navarro County as well, we see a number of these cells, so it's going to get harder for any one of these updrafts to really intensify to severe limits. So it does look like we will be not looking at a terribly high severe weather threat for our area. Definitely heavy rain, definitely some frequent lightning with these storms, and could be some small hail mixed in as well. I'm going to jump over to, let's jump over to the chat session here. I know there's a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of reports and that kind of thing. I appreciate that. You knew you would be up. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some coffee, y'all. I was exhausted 3 hours ago, so I don't know how this night is going to go. Yeah, hail in the Rocket area, that was just outside of my area. All of these storms are moving from southwest to northeast. Some of these, it looks like some of these are moving a little more easterly, but again, more kind of southwest to northeast orientation to a lot of these storms. We could see, to Haley's question, we could see some wind with these storms, some gusty winds, especially with the way the updraft is going up and then quickly dropping cold air along with the rain is what I'm trying to say. We could see some gusty winds. I don't think we see damaging winds out of these storms, but that is definitely a possibility. David Hatley, hard to say how much rain you're going to get. If you're over in Cleburne, you may not get much of anything. If you're over in the Rice area, David, where you are, it's a little harder to tell you. It just depends on how many of these heavy downpours pass your area. So I don't really have an estimation of how much rain you're going to get tonight, but you could get, I would say, just throwing a ballpark number out there, you could get half an inch or possibly even an inch if you get enough of these heavier downpours to track through your area. So I don't have a straight answer for you on that, unfortunately. I'm telling you guys, I got to get a cup of coffee. But I don't have a straight answer for you on that. But get those rain gauges out, check that out, and follow how much you get. Report that in the morning, and we can talk about that then. And let me get some more questions. I know Haley, you asked a few times about the wind. Let me. Heavy rain in the Maypearl area. A lot of reports here. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning in Kaufman. Small hail in 5 points. Thunder in Ennis. Plenty of thunder out there right now. I'll get there you go. My wife is getting me coffee. Let me stop and show off a little bit the fact that my wife, this brand would not be possible without her. Okay, I need to take a moment and look straight into the camera and tell you that. There's times where she does simply just take care of the kids and keep them distracted while I'm doing this, to bringing the food in here that I ogle while I'm live streaming, to the coffee that's on its way too. So she does a great service to you, all the followers, to this brand. And so any love you want to throw at her is definitely appreciated. She loves Starbucks. Let me just throw that out there too. So let's keep going with the questions here. Once it passes, are we good? Here's the thing. Number one, I wasn't really expecting this cornucopia of thunderstorms tonight. I mean, this was not quite in the cards, at least from what I could see. I knew it was possible, but I didn't expect to go from 0 to 60 and nothing flat. I think through the night, we'll still see some showers and thunderstorms. Again, I'm still watching those storms off to the northwest in the Wichita Falls area to see if any of that activity can make it here. Doesn't look like it's going to have the intensity that it did when it was out in the Lubbock and Snyder areas, but we could still see some of that activity moving in as well. My top concern is tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon, we could see some storms moving through. Tomorrow night, we have a much better chance of storms moving in, and very well could see some severe weather at that point. We're under an enhanced risk, could be under a moderate risk by mid to late morning tomorrow. So I will be bringing plenty of information on that tomorrow. I will be glued to this desk, working hard to bring the latest updates on all of that for you. Let's see. Assuming shouldn't ride my horse tomorrow. If you're going to ride the horse tomorrow, I would do so a little bit earlier in the day. That's what I would do if I were you. I would try to do that earlier on. We could see more showers and thunderstorms earlier in the day. The fact of the matter is the warm front has moved northward. We're in the warm sector. It's very, very humid out there. Plenty of moisture going on. Any heat you add to that, that's going to lift and create these thunderstorms. So it's hard to rule out showers and thunderstorms really between now and when that line eventually moves in later on tomorrow night to finally just kind of clear things out, at least for a little while. So between now and then, we could see just scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the process. Ultimately, though, if you want to ride the horse, check things in the morning and see how it looks there. I wouldn't ride too long, though, because you could be tempting the atmosphere at that point. Let me grab the coffee in the wonderful Star Wars mug here. I'm telling you, this woman, she knows me well, and she is a marvelous wife. Let's see, we have an early flight tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Any ideas how it will be? Hard to say. If we're able to get this activity going, we may very well be looking at more shower and thunderstorm activity that time of the morning. So it will be tough to call exactly what we're looking at in terms of that point in the time. So really between now and when we finally get that last big round of storms tomorrow night, showers and thunderstorms will be possible. Severe risk is mid to late afternoon and then overnight tomorrow night. Yeah, Terry is the real MVP. She really is. She's keeping this thing rolling, keeping me rolling. And she keeps me sane too. These storms, let me tell you, these storms will drive you crazy. So she does a very good job of helping me kind of stay grounded. Let's face it, she keeps me humble too. It'd be really easy for me to get a big head. I already have a big head. I don't really need a figurative one. It'd be easy to get a big head in this brand, but hey, I am, she's able to keep me humble and keep me grounded. Let's see here. Okay, going back and just continuing to look in the comments here. Rainy cats and dogs. Come out to Get Center Park on May 13th to support your local animal shelter, SPCA of Texas, Ellis County. Okay, that's May 13th. That date doesn't immediately bring up anything in my head. I think I'm free that weekend. Aaron Lloyd, if you want South Metro Weather to have a booth there, let's talk, because I am an animal lover. I'm an animal lover to a fault. I'm not bringing any home. I've got plenty, but I'd be happy to possibly promote the event and go from there. Aaron, let's talk after tonight. Lightning in the Arlington area. Arlington, I don't think has actually. Actually, I don't think Arlington's really gotten anything so far, anything more than just that quick, heavy shower in southern Arlington there, Mansfield area. Let's see. Thundering and lightning really bad and pouring down rain in Ferris. Let's see, looks like training of, so we are seeing that training of thunderstorms, and that's what I was talking about, is your amount of rain is going to depend greatly on whether you get one of these heavier downpours, and also how many of these downpours you happen to get. Let me get a sip here. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Okay. It's really going to depend, and let me zoom in a little bit here and just kind of show you what I'm talking about. A lot of your rain amounts is going to depend on how much of this rain you're getting. If you're going from Whitney to Milford to Italy to Ennis here, you can see that there's already, Ennis, you've got several of these kind of even just brief downpours moving towards your area. By the way, it's a blessing that I cleaned the gutters last night, but we've got plenty of these downpours for you, and so you'll get a lot more rain. Southern Ellis County will get a lot more rain than perhaps Midlothian or Red Oak or Ferris. Ferris, you're getting some, but most of this is going to be focused in that area. So that's kind of what we're looking at this point. So we'll continue to monitor all of this, and flooding could be a concern where you're getting multiple downpours. Blooming Grove, Waxahachie, even Ennis, Milford, Italy, Forreston there, even down to Blooming Grove, Corsicana, Rice, Alma, these areas that are getting these multiple downpours. I would be concerned about localized flooding, especially in those flood-prone areas, because again, you're getting these multiple rainfall situations. Come out to Ellis County Animal Rescue. We just opened, and it's like super close. Okay, well, so the word's out now that I'm an animal lover. So Morgan, we will talk on that as well, and we'll get in touch and see what you guys are doing. Is this the warm stalled front moving in slowly? Nathan, so my understanding is the warm front has moved north of our area. I'm pretty sure that's why we have so much of this moisture in place. That will stall tomorrow, and that will provide an instigator for those storms. I'm concerned that we could see that instigate storms late in the afternoon. There are some obstacles to it, but I think we could very well see that being an instigator for those storms tomorrow as we go through. Let's see. Let me look here. Anything bad in Bow? You say Bows, you may mean Boz. The Boz area, I don't think anything. When you say bad, we don't have any severe weather here. Plenty of heavy rain, possibly some small hail. I think is the worst you're going to see. So the Boz area has gotten some pretty heavy activity so far, we don't have any damaging weather at this point. No severe weather, but we could very well be looking at, again, heavy rain and small hail in some of these areas. Asking about Ferris, there is some heavy rain going on in Ferris. Again, possibly some small hail there, plenty of lightning and thunder, but nothing severe for that area. Barbara, you're asking anything tornadic. No tornadoes right now. I can tell you that, and I don't think we see any kind of tornado threat until possibly mid to late afternoon tomorrow, and then with that main line of storms, late tomorrow night is really the tornado risk I'm looking at. No tornadoes with any of this. I don't think we see any tornadic activity early in the morning either. So I think you're good there. But again, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night could be a little bit of a different story. I need to step out of frame and grab my phone here. It's blowing up, and I'm not sure what all I'm seeing. Okay, getting a lot of messages on the personal level here. Some of these I'll just have to answer later. Okay. And okay, so from Spring Creek, from Mr. Steve Rainey over at Synergy Roofing, reporting that small hail here for 5 minutes or so, nickel-sized hail. So that was nearby me. That's the storm that went up into the Rocket and up into the Rocket area here, south of Pecan Hill, and up into the Ferris area. So that's kind of what we were seeing there. And like I said, if you need, I doubt any of this is doing a lot of roof damage. Looking at really small hail here, but we can see what tomorrow night brings, and Synergy Roofing has you there for sure. So, you know, that's another nice thing about having sponsors here. We have Synergy Roofing that takes care of the roofing aspect when it comes to your insurance on those things. We have Andrea Walton in the Red Oak area that covers that. We have a lot of different sponsors that cover many different useful things. Rain can even impact plumbing. Bahama Plumbing is there. So always check out our sponsors on that cover photo to see who it is that we're working with, because we have multiple sponsors that cover different aspects of weather-related damage and weather-related impacts. So make sure you're paying attention to those folks as well. And of course, we have Jimmy Porch here. If you're tired of living in one place that keeps getting rain, or tired of living in a house that keeps getting rain damage or storm damage, you want to move somewhere else, get in touch with Jimmy Porch there, of course, as well. Shameless plugs all the way there. Let me go back here, just look for a few, look and see what we have here. And thank you for all the thank yous. I know that's kind of weird to say, but I appreciate all the thank yous that are in the comments right now. Asking about Reed Timmer's videos. I haven't seen any of Reed Timmer's stuff. I've been going between working and having dinner with the family and working again, so I haven't had a chance to sit back and watch any of the stuff that's come out from today. Hopefully maybe over the weekend, I'll be able to do that. So right now, we'll just do one more look at this, and it does look to me at this point like we are watching just really some of this activity. I think we had a big flare up, and then I think now it's kind of starting to dissipate and kind of die down just a little bit. So I think we might have just had a brief little disturbance come through that kind of kicked things up and really activated things. And then I think we're going to see, well, I think we'll see this wave persist. We have a pretty good cell here that's moving towards the frost area here. Let's kind of zoom in on that, kind of take a look at this one. Moving towards Blooming Grove, moving towards M House, eventually moving towards Rice. Looks like that will mostly move north of Corsicana. Could clip northern portions of Corsicana there. So let's take a quick look and see what kind of hail threat we may have there. Doesn't look too intimidating at this time, but I think that could easily intensify over the next several minutes as that continues to move on to the northwest. Let's see. Okay, just going back in the chat to see what is happening there. You know, a quick story on Reed Timmer. He was in Texas in the last ice storm that we had. He was actually right up the road from this stadium, or from this studio rather. On that note, take another swig here. So he was just up the road from this studio, and I thought he was stuck. I legitimately thought he was stuck right next to. So I actually posted on the comment section of that video, if you're stuck, if you need help, let me know. I'm nearby. I had no intention of getting out in that storm, but he was nearby, and I didn't want him stuck. I wanted him to be able to keep working. Then after that, he zipped on north, where things, ironically, were a little less intense and a little less frozen up there at that point. So a near run-in with Reed Timmer right here in Waxahachie. And being reminded that it's Administrative Professionals Day. I'm not sure if I count as an administrative professional. Perhaps my wife does for helping me run this whole thing. So maybe we'll celebrate her tomorrow. But this is probably the strongest cell we have right now. Another bit of a doozy here just west of Italy, one near the Itasca area. We're going to continue to see this activity cycle on to the northeast. As it does, it's continuing to kind of cycle up and down lightly. I do not really think that we're looking at anything severe tonight. I think we will avoid that for our area. Again, like I said, for these storms to become severe, they need a strong updraft. And the more storms we have that are close together, the harder it is for one of these to create an intense enough updraft to really begin to pick up a lot of steam on its own. If anything, this storm in Navarro County may be one to watch here, but as quickly as all of this popped up, we could very well be looking at just some things that are going to cycle up and down. I do want to talk about the storm near Kearns. Looks like it's going to be heading towards the Bazette area here. Could be looking at a hail core developing just to the northwest of Kearns here. So this will be worth watching. This, of course, moving pretty quickly towards the county line there out of Navarro County, but it is still in our coverage area. We will talk about that. Okay, more discussion about Reed, and I'll catch up with what Reed has been up to at another point. But again, we could be looking at another kind of hail core developing again just outside of Bazette, north of Powell here. This is Navarro County, and that will continue to move off to the northeast. Here's the river here, that county line, moving out of Navarro County very shortly, but that is indeed there. And then could be seeing some hail right now just south of Itasca, from Itasca over to Mountain View here. That will be moving towards the Plum Grove area here in Ellis County, eventually crossing, what is that? It's really tiny, 934. 934 here, FM 934. So looks like it's right on 35 West right now. Going to be heading northeast across 934 towards the Plum Grove area, eventually up towards, again, the Great House, Bob's, 5 Points area, southwest of Waxahachie. It's an area I have to talk about. I know a lot of folks there. That was my old stomping ground, so just an area that I talk about frequently because I know that those folks, when they hear that, they know exactly where the storm is, right? On that localized level. That's what we try to do here at South Metro Weather. It's what I did with Ellis County Weather. That's what I'm going to continue to do with the South Metro Weather. I'm learning these other counties better and better, getting familiar with these smaller communities so that I can make sure that you are aware. And severe thunderstorm warnings continue off to the east here. Kaufman County, Van Zandt County, those areas. Nothing here, though. No warnings at this time for this area. So we will continue. Again, just to repeat, no tornado risk tonight. No severe weather going on. No tornado risk. Nothing to worry about there. I'm going to continue to let the radar-only stream run. Again, that is... let me just grab that link for everyone and actually put that in here. I messed it up. Okay, there we go. And Matt is resting at this point. He was already in bed, and I wasn't going to make him drag himself out of bed because, let's face it, I'd love to be there right now. So I'm going to let him, I'm going to live vicariously, going to rest vicariously through Matt right now, let him get some rest. Tomorrow might be a long day, so we're going to get all the rest we can. And getting another possible, okay, so great, perfect. Got that there. So let's continue to keep an eye on this. I will continue to monitor this. Just to reiterate, not looking at any kind of severe weather risk at this very moment. These storms will continue. Well, okay, Matt's watching the stream. I told you didn't have to work. He's still watching. So here's the problem, though. He's not moderating the chat. I don't know if he is or not. But see, now he's in the chat from his personal account. Now he can mess with me. This time to wrap it up. Good night, folks. But we need to, we will talk about the severe risk for tomorrow very shortly. But this tonight, not damaging weather, a few loud storms, small hail, could be some gusty winds affiliated with these as well, mostly just heavy rain, lightning, thunder, that kind of thing. They're enough to get your attention for sure. And then let me pull up, let me get the severe weather risk up there one more time, because that really does, I think, need to be discussed once again. So we'll bring that up here and talk about that one more time. Let me just kind of get everything moved around here. Okay, here's a nice smooth transition. Just takes me about 10 minutes to get it set up. So here's what we're looking at for tomorrow. Again, tornado risk is there. It's not really high. It's not huge, but it is there. And I've elevated it from this half low to a low risk. Again, that could be elevated if we see those supercell thunderstorms in the mid to late afternoon tomorrow. More on that tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a better idea. Still some uncertainty that we're working through. Damaging winds, a fair bet tomorrow, especially later on tomorrow night when we have that squall line move through. Large hail, I think, is our biggest risk tomorrow. And again, could easily be looking at some heavy rain, creating some flood concerns as we go forward as well. So thank you so much for tuning in here. I'm just going to go back to the radar one more time, and we'll actually just kind of wrap up there, because I want to make sure that we are, that everyone is familiar with what's going on. Make sure you go to that radar only stream. That will continue to run all night if necessary, so that we can continue to keep an eye on these storms. Not severe, no tornado risk tonight. Could be some small hail, gusty winds, loud lightning and thunder, heavy rain with these as they move through. Not sure how much of the night will be filled with these. Looks like this round may be ready to wrap up soon, but we could see more showers and thunderstorms. I'm watching northwest for that round as well. But again, that doesn't look to be too severe at this point. So I'm going to continue to monitor all of this throughout the night. I've got the coffee, we're all set there, so I'll be up all night if necessary. Tomorrow afternoon, mid to late afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, I'll be watching for possibly a first round of strong to severe thunderstorms. Then late tomorrow night, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, could be after midnight, we have a solid line of severe storms moving through. Stay tuned for more updates through South Metro Weather as we watch not only tonight's storms, but the approaching severe weather risk tomorrow.